What's the value of using WordPress as opposed to other website builders? Oh, Lynda, I have a lot of answers for this one, so buckle up. As you can imagine, I have a lot of opinions on websites and website builders. So I don't want to give you too much information or scare you away, but I do want to share with you a couple ideas about websites in general, okay? So let's start with the top down. So the first thing is I want to tell you there's different kinds of websites. And in my opinion, if you have a website for your business, first of all, that is the greatest tool you can use on the internet for your business, your website, your own website. A lot of people asking me these days, hey CJ, in this digital age, in this age of social media and apps and blah, 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 do I even still need a website? And I say to those people, no, you go ahead and you put all of your business eggs into somebody else's basket. No, that's not what I say at all. I say, of course you need a website. Your website is the only thing that you can fully own and control on the internet. I'm going to say it again. Your website is the only thing you can fully own and control on the internet. As you should use all those other social media channels. If your audience is on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, you should have a presence on those places, but it shouldn't be your primary presence. Your primary presence should be your website because it's the only thing you can own and fully control on the internet. If you've got articles that you're putting out, blogs, resources, publish those things to your website first and then go out to all those other social media channels and give them the links back into your website to come find that content. You want to publish content under your own name to your own website first and then share it around to the internet. What you don't want to do is spend all your time building up Facebook's website, building up other people's websites. As you're publishing content to these other social media channels, you are building other people's websites. You can't own that. You can't control that. You've got to have something that you can own and control if you're doing it for your business. So that's the first really important distinction that I want to make about websites, is to have something that you can fully own and control. And the reason that I'm bringing that up is for the next point, which is all about what kind of website you have, what software is being used to create or run your website. For example, there are a lot of really great website builders out there, and they've made it really easy, affordable to jump in and use these builders, use these tools to create a quick website for yourself. They look pretty good. They work pretty good. And if you're just starting, or this is all you can do, or it's right for you, I say great. It's better that you have some kind of website than you have nothing. But there's a caution to it. If you're using one of these sites like Wix, Weebly, Squarespace, those kind of websites, they're great tools. I would be happy to help you. I can consult with you on situations that you're having with those websites. Don't have any problem with that. However, I do want to point out, and I need to point out, that again, you can't fully own and control that, because when you're using someone else's website system, website builder, it's still at the end of the day owned by them. If you have a Wix website, at the end of the day, your website's owned by Wix. And if tomorrow they sell, merge, acquire, yada, da, 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 right? The business landscape is always changing. And if you've invested in any one of these companies, Facebook, Google, YouTube, Wix, Squarespace, Weebly, and then tomorrow something happens, they merge, they sell, they acquire, your website could be lost. The energy that you're putting into it could be lost. These are proprietary systems. You are only able to use it while you're with them. I don't know if I'm explaining that well, so let me know if you would in the comments and elsewhere if that makes sense what I'm saying. A Wix website, a Squarespace website, great tools. They look really great. There's a lot you can do with them. They let you get started for free. I mean, who can beat that, right? You can get a free website today. It's going to take a lot of your time. You're going to have to learn things you never even thought about before. And at the end of the day, you still don't own that website. And that's a shame. That's a shame to me. And that's what really is leading me now to specifically answer Lynda's question. What's the value of using WordPress as opposed to other website builders? Here's the value. The value is that you can fully own and control your website made of WordPress. Now, I do need to make a distinction. There's two kinds of WordPress websites. There's WordPress.com and there's WordPress.org. And I really hope I don't get this backward. I believe WordPress.com, you come to and you sign up for the website through them, and it's still based in the WordPress.com universe. Versus WordPress.org is a software that you can download. You can build a website using WordPress. WordPress is open source software. What that means is you don't have to pay anybody a license fee in order to use it. As a web developer, I can grab a brand new copy of WordPress for you. I can set up website hosting on my website server. I can install the WordPress website for you. I can set it up, configure it, blah, 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 and then you have a website. And that website, that WordPress website, that WordPress.org website, is fully owned by you. You can own and control it under your own domain name. Let's say I build that website for you and it's located on this server and it's a WordPress website and we've set it up the right way from the get-go, and we have a terrible falling out. You know what? Let's not say it that way. Let's say a year ago, you've hired a web developer and he built you this website in WordPress and you just don't want to keep working with him anymore. And if he did it the right way, that's okay. You can take over that website, or maybe you want to change hosting companies. You can pack up that website, zip it up, move it to a different server, unpack it, set it all up in the new area, and away you go. So here's the real specific answer to your question, Lynda. Depending on the kind of software you're using, depends on whether you can fully own and control that website. I want you to have a website that you can fully own and control as your business. This is your virtual real estate. This is one of the most important things you can be doing online, is building a website, building your website, not just these other people's websites, not just the Facebook and the Google and the YouTube and all the other places I keep talking about. They're important and you should be there, but invest your time in your own website because it's your real estate. It's something that you own, and it's really important. So WordPress, another one. My favorite system is called Joomla. If someone comes to me and they say, CJ, build me a WordPress website because that's what I know and like, I will say, great, we can do that. Happy to help you. If they say, I don't care what you use, what do you like? I say, I like Joomla. And if you don't care how I'm building your site, I'm going to build it in Joomla because that's what I love, and I'll teach you how to use it. But again, it is an open source software. We don't have to pay license fees to use it. I can build it independently on our own server, and we can fully own and control it. And if something terrible should happen and you no longer want to work with me, that's no problem. The website still belongs to you. You can still have it. You can move it to any host you want, and no harm, no foul, no hard feelings. I will serve you as long as I can, but if you have this kind of a website, you're not restricted to who can serve you or where it can be hosted. Lynda, does that answer your question? Please let me know. So, what's the value of using WordPress? Using WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, some of these open source solutions allows you to create a custom website, fully featured. You can have the right kind of security and backup and things in place that you need for your website. And at the end of the day, you can own that website. And you don't have to worry about some company acquiring, merging, whatever, and you've lost your website completely. Or you run into a problem with the web developer that you've been working with and you no longer want to work with them, and now you feel like you have to start over from scratch. I don't want you to have to deal with that situation either. And WordPress, Joomla, some of these tools, they allow you to fully own and control your website and not be dependent on any one platform, any one person, any one service moving forward. Does that make sense? Let me summarize a couple of those points real quick. Your website is the only thing you can fully own and control. Based on what kind of software you're using may determine whether you can fully own and control it. There's some great tools. GoDaddy has a site builder. You're going to get mixed results with that because you're not a professional web designer. And if you're trying to work on your own website, you're going to find some frustration. And that's why this show exists. If that's you, if I'm describing you and something's not working, you need to get something somewhere and it's not happening, jump into our Facebook group and ask me that question. We'll help you. We'll help you no matter what you're using. Wix, Squarespace, Weebly, one of the site builders, GoDaddy. But I don't think it's the absolute best long-term solution. Might be great getting started, might be great in your first year of business, but if you really want to make a go of it and you're planning to be around for a long time, you should invest in your own website that you can fully own and control. I hope that makes sense. Please let me know. I look for your comments in the video, on YouTube, on Twitter, in our Facebook group. Let me know if that makes sense as a concept. To me, it's really important. I believe your website is the #1 tool to grow and support your business. I believe you should be in all those other places, all those other social media channels, but funnel them back to your website, the only thing you can own and control. And yes, Lynda, using WordPress or Joomla or one of these other softwares allows you to continue to fully own and control your website moving forward, independent of other services, independent of other platforms, independent of your host, independent of your developer. Does that make sense? If I build you a website in WordPress or Joomla, I'm absolutely here to continue to support you with updates and backups and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, that website belongs to you. And that's a huge distinction. There's a couple other services. I'm just going to throw out a couple names. Hibu, Yellow Pages, they also will build you a website. But again, you can only use that website as long as you're paying them their monthly fee. That website doesn't belong to you. It belongs to them, and they're licensing it to you while you're paying the monthly fee. It's a big distinction. So I'm an independent website builder that develops websites that belong to you and your company. And that's a big distinction. And there's some people out there that are building websites using one of these other platforms. I don't think that's a long-term sustainable goal. I've met people and they are Wix website developers or Squarespace website developers. They'll build you a website using one of these tools. It confuses me because I just don't think that's the right way to do it. I think there's better ways to do it. So might be a great way to get started, but is not setting you up for long-term success. Okay, let me know. Let me know if that makes sense. I know I talked a lot about it. Lynda, I had a lot to tell you about that question. Really great question. And there's a lot to unpack there. So I hope that answers your question. You may have follow-up questions, and I invite your follow-up questions. Whatever other questions came to your mind while I was ranting about all that, let me know what they are. We'll talk about them next week's show or in a future show. Leave me a comment anywhere you can find me, in our Facebook group, on Twitter, and I would love to address your follow-up questions, which I'm sure you'll have. Okay? Thanks so much for that question, Lynda. I really appreciate you being in our community. You can find all the links and details of our show at askawebgeek.com. If you're listening to this YouTube or a podcast later, this is the greatest place to come to plug in to our community. askawebgeek.com. You'll find the buttons, the color-coded buttons to join our Facebook group and subscribe on YouTube. We've also got links to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. If you're an Apple user or an Android user, you should be able to find the podcast player of your choice. Maybe there's another podcast player that you use. Let me know if the show is there. Especially let me know if the show is not there, because I want to make sure it's available to you no matter what platform or software you like to use. Thanks so much for your time and attention. The internet's a jungle. God bless.